All right. Let me just check that the sound is on. Yes, I seem to be good to go. I like to speak without unmuting myself, so it's important for me to double check that. Welcome to grade 9 coding. It is the 2nd of July today, and we are going to be collecting treasure with Laurel. So I would like to say welcome everyone, but until a moment ago there was only one. Now we have two. So now I can say welcome everyone. Uh, I'm glad to be here. I hope you're excited to be here. So we're learning how to use computer code and how to get ourselves structured in a way so that we can actually take the knowledge that we have here and use that in future to learn other languages of computer code. Okay. So before we get going, a few things that I have to mention. First of all, there are links below our YouTube videos that will allow you to gain access to these lessons. So if you are watching this on a YouTube upload that happened after the fact, you are welcome to follow that link, register. There's a link to register for students and a link to register for parents, just in case the student is too young to have access to an email address. You can register there, head over to the links that will get sent to you for the Zoom meetings. We are also busy upgrading that onto an awesome web page that can be used, and then you can come and join us in the live lessons where you have access to the chat box and you can ask questions and you can actually get the link from us, especially in the coding, so that you can join us on the coding platform. On that, links can only be shared from me once I am on the actual coding screen. As you can see, this is a PowerPoint slide. There are no links for me to copy. So if you are in the lesson, just be patient. We will get to that section sooner rather than later. I did an introduction yesterday, so from today on, I want to limit the talking beforehand and just get into coding as soon as humanly possible. There are some things that we have to discuss, though, is please, nobody is allowed to post a link in the chat box. We cannot delete anything from the chat box, so if a link is there, then we need to close down the entire meeting for in case it might be a dangerous link. Some links looks like something, but it is actually something else. So there's no way, and I'm not going to take chances with anyone's online safety. I am a parent myself. I've been teaching for many years and I've been working on computers for more years. So I don't like to play with online safety. If there's a link there, then it causes a lot of trouble for us. So please refrain from doing that. That being said, please do use the chat box to ask questions, to give me answers. I see some names here that seem familiar, so you're welcome to do that. Use the chat box, chat with me. If you log in a bit earlier, you're welcome to say hello. It's not a problem at all. For questions that I cannot touch on during the lesson, there is an email address, my personal email address at the end of the show, at the end of this lesson, and you can send me an email. Okay, that's enough now. Don't switch on your cameras as well. It makes it difficult for me to teach. Right. Yes, you can send a homework screenshot here. You'll see there's a file upload. I don't know if you have access to upload to that, but I think you do. Let me just quickly check. I think you should be able to. So yes, if you can upload that, you can upload it to the file section, or you can just paste it into the chat. So I'd love to see what you did for those that doesn't have the ability to send it to me via email. If it's a link to your homework, then I can also accept that if you tell me, sir, I'm going to send a link to this now, and I give you permission, then it's fine, because then I know I can trust the person. There we go. I'm downloading it now to my computer. Just give me a second. I need to save it somewhere where I can find it again. This one. And okay, I'm almost there. Almost there. Let me just get this saved. Sorry. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to open it. I'm not sure if I open it, if you can actually see this on your screen or not. I see it's still loading. Just tell me in the chat box, what do you see? Do you see my PowerPoint slide or do you see an image which is not opening? Okay. Okay, thank you. The image is blank. The host is now confirmed. He also downloaded it and tried to open it, and the image is blank. So just try to do that screenshot again if you can. Okay. Upload it again, I mean. Just see one last time if I access it this way. If that works, just one more chance to try and see. Oh, it remains blank even if I open it outside of Zoom on my computer. Right, so that's fine. Time is not wasted. It is always great to share ideas with each other. Okay, so if I'm trying to access homework so that I can open it and show it to everyone, please don't feel like you are wasting time or I'm wasting time. If we share ideas, we can come up with new, better, brilliant ideas. So, right. This is the quote from Stephen Hawking. You'll see with me each day of the week, you'll have the same or a very similar quote. And there's also the foundations of coding that we run through constantly. The reason for that is I believe, and studies have proven, that repetition is the mother of all learning. So this just states, whether you want to uncover the secret of the universe, the secrets of the universe, or you just want to pursue a career in the 21st century, basic computer programming is an essential skill to learn. Stephen Hawking. So Microsoft has released a bit of information on this. They actually speculate that by within the next 5 years, 60% of all STEM vocations, so that's science, technology, engineering, and math, if you have a work or a job or a career in one of those fields, about 60% of all those fields will rely on computer sciences to do the work that they do. At the moment, it's sitting at about 30% of those industries, and they actually think that it's a lot more. So just to give you an idea of how important this really is for us to know, okay? The problem solving workflow, now I touch on this often because this is the foundation of coding, okay, and what we do. So we want to identify the problem, we want to create the solution. If the problem is big, we want to break it down into smaller problems and create many solutions. We want to test each solution we create, and we want to adjust the solution if needed. Once we've solved all the small problems, then we would have solved the big problem. Okay, so the homework challenge. This is what I found. So I'm very curious to see what you guys did here. So if you look at this, there are two ways that this could have been solved. Either you could have gone right or you could have gone around the left. So what I did here is I did the 15 block code in 9 blocks, right? So I'm very, very curious to see if any of you could do this in less blocks, right? So what I did is I told Scratch to move forward once, okay? And then I said, okay, when you're here, I want you to turn right and move forward again, and then turn right again. Okay, so now I've moved Scratch with this and this up to this point. And then I told Scratch, you know what, let's not mess about here. Okay, what I'm going to do, today we're doing this, but before we do that, I want to get into that Scratch lesson very quickly. Let's see. Maybe you can show me how you did that better. Okay, another thing that I just have to mention quickly is we are now on the 2020 version of code.org. So they have actually updated all of their courses to the 2020 version. This was implemented within the last 2 days. So if things are looking a bit different from what it used to look, that is why. And also it has been creating a lot of problems because all my classrooms were created on the 2019 version because at the beginning of the year and up until now it was the recommended version. So what happened is when we shared those links, students couldn't actually access the content. So if you could access this link that I just shared in the chat box now, if you could click on it and get it open, just type a yes for me, please, so that I can be sure that the way I've set things up now actually works. Okay. As I said, the version was updated. So while you access that, I see one person's in already. So I hope that everyone can get access to this, but I'll only know that if you actually tell me yes, right? So what I did here was, before I start looping anything ever, right? And I want to discuss this because we might have new students here. Before I ever start looping anything, I first create the sequence. If you loop stuff from the beginning, you just start by placing the repeat block here and setting it to a number. And you test the code. Sometimes it's extremely difficult to see where the problem is. So obviously, if you're just going to move forward 10 times, yes, loop it from the beginning because it's fine. But now I could see I'm going to use loops, but I wasn't sure exactly where. So what I did is I first solved the smallest problem, which was move forward. Then I wanted to turn right there, and I wanted to move forward twice, okay? And I wanted to turn right again. So that got me to there. Then I saw I need to move forward 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So obviously, again, I'm moving forward in a straight line. So you can put that in a repeat right from the start. That's not a problem, okay? Now, what I did notice is once I'm here, there is a repetition in the code. This turn right, move, move, turn right. You can see that. Turn right, move, move, turn right is the same as what I had there, not including that first move forward. But now the only way I can get to repeating this again is I need to put this entire thing into a loop. This is called a nested loop, but it's not only a nested loop. It's actually if you have a loop in a loop, it's a nested loop. But now we have a sequence and a loop in a loop, okay? So that doesn't matter. The one thing that did bug me though is you don't have the ability to set this to 2 times. So for this puzzle and this setup on this specific lesson, once the goal has been reached, the code automatically stops running, okay? So it doesn't cause a problem if you actually repeat it more times than what is needed. So here, we obviously would have only wanted to repeat this twice. And if it repeated all of this code, then we would have had a problem here, because the only segment that we need repeated is this sequence that we have here. This small one here needs to repeat. This doesn't have to actually repeat again. So I set it to 3 times because I know that at this stage, and I only found that out after testing it, for this level and this lesson and this puzzle, it doesn't make a difference, right? But in some of the more advanced puzzles we'll be doing in the future, you can't do this. You have to set these to the exact amount of repeats, and you have to set this to not repeat if it doesn't have to repeat, because those will keep on going until the code has stopped running. But obviously there's some big code behind this that said, okay, once the goal is reached, terminate the code. Okay, and you can do that in coding. We just haven't done that yet in any one of our lessons. Right, so now we can jump into today's lesson. Are you all happy with that? Can I move on? Type yes in the chat box if you are good to go. Okay, great. So if anyone could beat 9 out of 15 blocks used, I would like to know about that, right? Okay. So now we have programming in collector, and all that says is that we have this collect block here, and this collect block is going to cause this little character to do something. Now the character's name is Laurel, and she's an adventurer. We want to move her around to get as much treasure as we can. Drag the blocks to replace whatever. So I removed all of this. Just share this. Well, first say start over. Okay, no, it is a blank one. So I'm going to share this link just in case. If anyone has trouble connecting on the link, please tell me so that I can work on fixing it. If you don't tell me, I won't know. Okay. So the goal is 0 out of 1. I don't accept that. In my opinion, we can get them all because we're not limited to how many blocks we can use. Now, looking at this, I see a pattern, but looking at this, I'm going to tell you to tell me what to do. So if you want to do this audibly via a microphone and you have the ability to do that, raise your hand and I will unmute you. Otherwise, type in the chat box what code I should drop onto this screen. You have to move along. I want to almost finish this today. We get very close to having this lesson done. Okay, I'll do the first one, and then from the second one, I want you guys to sort of participate. Right. So the first small problem that we have is Laurel needs to move from there to be on top of the gem because she can't collect the gem from where she's standing. This block doesn't say collect forward, it says collect. So it'll act where she is. So we're going to move forward, right? That's the first problem. Now that we're on there, we're facing the second problem. She needs to pick up the gem. For that, we put the collect block there. Now what I can see is that if we want to do these as well, we're going to have to move towards them. So there are two ways. Either you can go here and go up, or you can go up and turn right again. Now what I would like to do is to actually turn left, move forward, and turn right, because the reason I'm doing this is I can see a pattern that's running from here to there, then up, and then we can see this entire thing's going to repeat there, up, there, and up, there, and up. Right. So this last up isn't needed, but it's in there, so it'll probably act out. I just want to check that this code is actually correct, and I think the sequence is, oh, before we loop it, there, I almost broke my own rule. We test it. Okay, so we're happy. They are happy because we were supposed to collect only one, but I want to collect them all. So to do that, we count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. We take this entire sequence of code, we drop it into a repeat block, and we repeat it 4 times. Okay, so as you can see there, this last turn left, move forward, and turn right, that's extra code that we don't need, but that's fine. This obviously doesn't stop after she's collected only one, because the goal was only one, because there are more things for us to do. So if we put extra code in here, it's going to keep on running. But for our purposes, this code is sufficient. Does that make sense? Are you all happy with that? Okay, good. So I'm going to run it again so that I can click on the next button, and then we can continue. Right. Move Laurel to the treasure, then use the collect block to pick it up. Okay. So this is actually an easier one than the previous one, because we're going to only need to collect one, and it's a straight line. So you tell me what to do and I will do it. Okay, so there I've got 2 of you telling me move forward times 4, then collect. Now, if you're going to tell me move forward times 4, I'm going to do this, right? So if you want to use proper coding language, then you will tell me repeat move forward or loop move forward 4 times. Okay, just a tip. And there we have the collect. Now, the reason why I want to show you the repeat block, because it hasn't actually been covered by code.org, but we're going to use it a lot in the future. So if I can get this into your heads now, then we're fine, okay? And this is still very easy. So if we're going to do move forward times 4, like you said, which is the correct thing to do, and then we say collect, right? We test this, we'll see that it's going to work, obviously. So that's very good of you guys to have found that solution. But I see that there's something we can repeat here. So what I would like to do is now take this out, put this in a repeat, okay? Say 4 times and move forward. Now this is why I usually tell people to first create the sequence, unless if it's an easy sequence, before you add other blocks in here or before you repeat things. If you are going to first put the repeat times 4, it's very easy to make that mistake, to put the collect inside. And what you are actually doing there is this. You're saying move forward and collect, move forward and collect, move forward, and I'm not going to continue. You get the idea, right? So this is what this code looks like when it's not in the loop. So this is going to be a mistake. So the way I would have liked you to type it would have been the way that I'm putting it in the chat now. Move forward, time it up. Okay, so you'll see what I typed there was move forward loop times 4, collect after repeat. So when we're speaking about code, we don't actually want to say this is in, well, you can say it's inside, but not on top or under, okay? Because code works sequentially. So we talk about before and after. Okay, so if you wanted this inside, you would have typed move forward collect in loop 4 times, or loop times 4, right? So you don't have to use words like in and with and then and that, whatever, for our purposes. So yes, I just wanted to make you aware of this, okay? We want this outside because otherwise it's going to try and collect on each block after she's moved forward. Okay, are you happy with that? Can we continue? Yes, please. Cool. All right. I want to find out from some of the other people. Ah, there we go. Timbeka has now also started sending messages. So I see someone's name is Two Hearts. And okay, it seems, and Charlton is also here. So Two Hearts has now said we can move forward. Great. Okay, awesome. So yes, I just want to make sure everyone sort of hears me and that you're following along. This is probably the easiest puzzle you'll ever do. Sequence matters. Okay, so just to get back to what I said earlier, remember code runs sequentially. What that means is what we put first will happen first. What we put second will happen second. So what we put before something will happen before that, and what we put after will happen after. So if we look at this, it's going to be move forward, and after this action has completed, then this will happen. After this action has completed, then this will happen. Okay, so this is basically teaching us about sequence, but it's also teaching us about the structure of the graphical user interface that you spoke about yesterday, this entire thing. This code needs to be connected, right? You can see it's all loose from each other. So nothing will actually run. Even if we fix the sequence is also wrong. But if we, let me just get that the way that it was. If we fix the sequence now and we don't connect it, it won't work. So sequence matters. The blocks you need are already in the workspace, but not connected. Order these blocks in the correct to collect the treasure and solve the puzzle. Okay. So what we can see here is there's a move forward. Now we agree with the move forward, so we can put that in there, right? She has to move forward. Then there's a turn left. Now, in my opinion, that's not going to work. So just type in the block what we need to put next in the chat box. Okay. I see there was a raised hand. Would you like to talk to me over the microphone? Person with two hearts. The hand is now gone, but if you'd like to talk to me, then you can. But for now, let's see. So move forward again. Yes, I agree. We need to move forward again, right? So now we are here. Now Laurel has to turn towards this gem, diamond or whatever. Okay, then a turn left. Now I need you to pay attention to this. It is something that gets confusing. She's facing down. She's not orientated the same as us. So for us, this is right. But for her, this is going to be left. It's her left on this side. Okay. Then after the turn left, what do we do? Move forward again and then collect, obviously. And make sure they are all touching each other. There's one more thing we need to do here. And what is that? Run. Yes, good. Okay. Are you ready? Can we move on to the next one? Okay. So I see many of you are saying yes. So I'm going to go. Okay. Let's read at the top. Again, saying sequence matters. The blocks you need are there. They're not connected. Put the blocks in the right order to solve the puzzle. Okay. So the goal is we need to find all two. We're only allowed to use all two. We need to find both of them, all the gems. We're only allowed 10 blocks. So we can obviously see there are different routes that can be used here. What route you choose is up to you as long as you don't go over the restriction of that. Okay, those 10 blocks. We have to stay under 10 blocks. So this has a collect first. We can see that it's not going to work. This is not going to work, so we can just take it off. In my opinion, if it allows us, I would rather just remove everything and build the code from scratch. It's going to be easier than trying to sift through these mistakes. Although learning how to fix mistakes in code that's already there is a good skill to have, but for this, it's not that necessary. So my opinion is let's turn right so that we can go down here, right? I'm like, yeah, that's right. So one, and then we're going to move forward twice. 1, 2. Then we're going to turn left. Then we're going to move forward and collect, move forward twice and collect. Let's see if this is going to be enough, if we have enough blocks available. Okay, 10 out of 10 blocks. What I would like to know is, do any of you have an idea how we can make this shorter? They give us a repeat block to use, but I cannot see a clear pattern here. But yesterday, a student helped me to make something shorter when I couldn't see the pattern. Any ideas? Okay. So you're welcome to take this as a challenge and try and make it shorter, see if it's possible. But for now, I'm just going to move on because we have done what we were supposed to do. We stayed within the restrictions. So making it shorter is just to give us a bit more fun. I'm just going to paste the link again into the chat box so that I can stay abreast of the chats coming through. Okay, so this is saying, help me collect each bit of treasure. These blocks are in the wrong order. Can you fix them? So now we have 2 that we need to collect. all the blocks are here that we have to use, but they're in the wrong order. So let's have a look. 2 down, we only have 1 move and a collect. So this is going to make a move and collect there. We don't want that. So we'll just separate this code. This is less confusing than what the previous set of code was, so we can just leave it on there. Now we want to turn right. So that she goes this way. And then she has to move 1, 2, 3. So I can actually already see, oh, you know what? Let's do it this way because she has to collect as well. I forgot. Okay, so let's do it this way first. And then we can loop it. Okay, so now all the code is in the correct order. Let's test that and make sure that is the case. Right, now in the chat box, oh goodness me, clicked on the wrong thing. In the chat box, tell me if there is a segment of code within this entire sequence that we can repeat. If you'd like to tell it to me over the microphone and you have microphone access, just raise your hand and I will unmute you. There is definitely a part here where we can take 4 blocks and turn it into 3 blocks. A segment of this sequence. Okay, chat box is empty. There we go. Repeat, move forward, and collect from Quasi. Yes. So this 1 move forward and collect, we can repeat that. How many times, Quizzy? 2 times. Yes, okay. I see the X2 now. Sorry, it was there from the start. I missed it. So now we're down to 8 blocks. And we have to test before we can know whether this worked. There we go. Good. Are you guys happy with this? Can we continue? Chloe says yes. Okay, awesome. Finished. Right. Continue. Not Chloe Cleo. Sorry. My bad. Let me just share the link again. It just helps me in the chat box to keep track of where we are. Help me collect all of the treasure. These blocks are in the wrong order. Reorder them to collect all of the treasure. Now, something you need to notice here, these gray blocks, we cannot delete them, right? They have to stay on the workspace. So what we can delete are these blue ones, and then also we can change the gray ones around. So we can disconnect them from the sequence and put them in a different order. That's fine, okay? So let us first decide how are we going to do this. So if I have a look here, going to move, turn, move, collect, turn. Then I'd say we can move, move, turn, move, collect, and turn again. So I already see a pattern that will emerge, but let's see. Okay, so we're going to move forward to there. Going to turn left. Okay, remember you can set the toggle on these ones. You don't have to put in a new block. Then we're going to move forward again. And then we have to collect the gem right there. And then we want to turn right. Okay. If you have another pattern that you would like to use, you're welcome to do that. Okay, this is just the one that I'm choosing because it seems the easiest, straightforward one in my mind's eye. Okay, so now we will actually have to do this entire thing again to get to that one. So let's test it first. Okay, she got that right. So now we can see this pattern and this pattern is going to look exactly the same, and she's going to end up in this position there. So what we can do is just repeat this twice. Okay, we can test it again if we'd like. Okay, great. Now, one thing that I see here is, that I wanted to mention is the step button. Remember that you can use the step button. This will run one block of code at a time, okay? So now that we're here, we just have to move forward and collect. So we're actually going to end up with an extra move forward block that we don't have use for, but we can't delete it either. So we'll just live with it. And look at that, we're only using 9 blocks out of the 11 blocks. So I want to talk through this because we're constantly implementing these repeat blocks now, but we haven't really learned them from the system side, but I've shown it to you. So I just want to make sure that you really understand the repeat blocks, because later on, we're going to get conditional repeats, which is a repeat that will repeat until something happens, or while a condition is met, the repeat will run. So if you don't understand this repeat block now, and that's why I wanted to start practicing them soon with you before we get to lessons 10 and onwards. If you don't understand this repeat block now, everything we're going to do in the future is going to become very difficult for you, okay? So repeat 2 times, move forward, turn left, move forward, collect, turn right. So this sequence is going to happen twice because of the repeat. So this will happen first. Remember, this doesn't activate when we hit run. Okay, this when run block is going to activate when we hit run, but the repeat doesn't come into effect. It first does this code, it skips that. And then when it reaches the bottom of this repeat, that is when it is going to actually go back and do that again, right? Because the repeat needs to happen after this is run one time. So it's going to do this once, hit that purple line, purple pink line down there, then go back. If we have a look at the actual code, you'll see here with the repeat. So the repeat and the way that it looks, okay, is how the computer knows, okay, I don't have to actually run this. This is just going to influence this. The reason for these funny looking brackets here, right? So this bracket there and this bracket there is what is telling the computer we've set a repeat for this code here, okay. Right, are you happy with this? Can we carry on? Okay. Challenge puzzle. Challenge puzzles are lessons designed to stretch your brain. Just do the best that you can. Well, we're ready. We're not afraid of challenges, right? So what we need to see here is just 2 things that are added. This one I see has been added to most of them, probably in the 2020 version. That's just to say that you're finished with this puzzle. You're not going to do anything more, and it'll give you that section where you can move on to the next one, okay? The skip puzzle is for challenge puzzles like this one that we are on now. If you come into the puzzle, let's say you said, yes, I'm ready for the puzzle, and now you see the puzzle and you are scared, then you can just skip the puzzle and go on to the next one. But we're not afraid. So what is going on here? Even if we put these in the right order, there will still be some missing. Oh, there will still be some missing. Use blocks from the toolbox to collect all of the treasure. That is important. All of the treasure. Okay, that is our goal. So let's have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 treasures that we have to collect. And now we have a move forward and collect that needs to happen there, obviously. And this is a simple sequence, but we can see it's going to repeat 3 times. So we don't really have to test that sequence before we loop it. We can if we want to, but it's not necessary because it's a very easy sequence. There aren't any turns in there. There's no degrees in there, nothing of that sort. So we want to repeat this 3 times. So we're going to move forward and collect once, move forward, collect twice, move forward, collect for a 3rd time. Now that we're here, we have to obviously turn and face this gem here. So we want to get a turn right block in there. Now the turn right doesn't go into the repeat for the same reason as what we said earlier. If we put the turn right in the repeat, she's going to turn right after the first time she's collected that. Let me display that to you so that you see what I'm on about, right? There she's turning right. Now it's creating a problem there to saying that there aren't items for her to collect because now she turned right. She's standing here because we said move forward, and now she's trying to collect, but there's nothing to collect. Turn right has to go there. Now if we run this, you'll see it's going to collect the 3 gems and then turn, which is what we want. Now we can decide how we want to do this. We can either move forward and collect, then move forward, turn, move forward, collect, or we can do this, go down, go there. It's really up to you. In my opinion, I'd like to take the straight line because it's going to eliminate 1 turn. If we go here, come down, then we have to turn right again to face this way. But we are now already facing this way, and then we only have to turn once to come here. So in my opinion, I would like to rather just have move forward, and collect. Then another 2 move forwards, 1, 2, a turn left to turn towards the gem, another, not this one, move forward, and then a collect. Okay. So if we test this, we'll see whether this works or not. Okay, good. Right, so I just saw the time now and we are out of it. So what I'm going to do is jump back to my slideshow. We'll visit this one again tomorrow. As you know, I like to review, so that's fine. This is the one where I want to be. No, I'm lying. This one, share. Okay. So what I want to do is give you this challenge. I'm going to jump back so I can share a link. Oops. Oh, come on. Trying to move the chat box out of the way so that I can click on the screen. So in the chat box, you'll find the link to this puzzle. You're allowed 41 blocks to collect 10, right? But what I want, as you can see here, the goal says collect 10. I want you to get them all. Try and get them all, okay? And then take screenshots and try to send it to me via email so that I can have it prepared beforehand and share it on the lesson. If you do not want me to share it with everyone, then you tell me in the email. Please do not share this with everyone. But I would love it if you guys can figure out a way to collect all of these and to do it a bit short, to do it in as few lines of code as possible. I'm going to try this as well. I haven't done it yet. And then we'll see and compare our ideas with each other. Okay. So we're supposed to do programming with the artist. That's what the entire lesson plan says. But in my opinion, we'll just continue with collecting the gems. Okay. Programming the collector. And then when we're done with that, we'll move on to this one. Okay. Creating art with code. So don't stress if we are not where we said we are going to be. I'd rather make sure you understand it. And if I see you understand it, we'll go a bit faster. So some of these lessons, even though they follow on top of each other, are easy. Some of them are a bit more difficult. So it just depends. There's my email address right there, paul@africateamgeeks.co.za. You're welcome to please send your screenshots there if you have access to email. Thank you for being here today. You can find Africa Team Geeks on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for us there. And then please also remember to invite your friends so that they can come and join us in these lessons. It's great if we have more people. And thank you for the engagement today. I really appreciate that as well. Right. Have an awesome day, everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Be safe. Be blessed. Bye-bye.